Hi, hello. Welcome to this demo about Snowflake MCP server on the Wheelchain platform. In the demo, first we'll deploy the Snowflake MCP server onto the platform using the Elliptic CLI. After that, we'll use the Elliptic platform block explorer to get more details about the interface definition of this MCP server, by which I mean the tool calls and the configuration setup of this MCP server. After that, we'll configure this deployed MCP server into the Elliptic chatbot, and then we can use natural language to interact with Snowflake instances. Okay, so let's get right into it. I have the Elliptic CLI set up here, and I've already connected with the platform here. So I'll use the deploy command to deploy this whale applet aka MCP server for Snowflake. Okay. I just want to note here that apart from the usual deploy parameters, this additional path here, this is the path for snowflake.yaml file, which contains configuration parameters for this MCP server to be functional. Okay, so this is deployed now. I'll copy the applet address and I'll move to the block explorer. Okay, so I'll get the applets here. All right. Now you can see this is the interface definition of this MCP server. At the top, you'll see Snowflake config, which contains three fields, and these fields are passed as fields values are passed in the YAML file, and uh, it's very important to be for the MCP server to be functional. The second one is the interface Snowflake here. You can see there are three methods or tool calls here that this provides. The first one is schema, which returns the schema of the database. Second one is run query, which runs the given query on the database and gives out the parsed result. The third one is execute, which runs this execute SQL statement, which is supposed to be a mutate statement and gives out the appropriate result. Okay. Now, uh, now that we are acquainted with this interface definition, let's move to the chatbot and configure this MCP server. So I opened the chatbot in my browser, the Elliptic chatbot, and now I'll configure this MCP server. Add server, and now this MCP server is configured. So let me ask it to describe the schema of a particular database. So I'll ask it in Snowflake for schema as my schema, warehouse as compute.wh, and database as mydb. Describe the schema in detail. To note that these parameters are to be passed for the tool call to be functional or to give out correct output. Okay, so you can see this has given us a summary of the schema of this database. Just to verify the response here, I see that there are 10 tables here inside the response. I will verify the number of tables in my Snowflake dashboard. I'll go inside my schema already and I'll go inside tables, and we can see there are 10 tables here too. So the response seems to be correct. Great. Now I'll ask it to get me all the rows of a given table, say demo date time types here. So it's using the run query tool call. Great. So there are 4 rows in this table. Let's just verify this too. So I'll go inside my script here and I'll ask it to select star from demo date time types. And we can see there are 4 tables in the Snowflake database. So the response is correct. All right, now let's do a more complex thing. I'll ask it to get me all the rows of this table between such and such date. So I'll just copy this prompt and append my further filter on it between date, say 22nd of October 2024 and 3 Jan 2025 using the run query tool call. Great. Okay, so it seems to be saying that the only one row satisfies this constraint, and that is the second row, that is the row with second ID 2. Since we have 4 rows here only, well, we can verify this manually as well. So the first row date is June 2025, not to be included since the upper limit is Jan of 2025. The second row is December of 2024, which is going to be included because between October 2024 and January 2025. Third row is January 2023, not to be included. And the fourth row is June of 2025, again, not to be included. So the response is correct. Alright, so this marks the end of this video. I also want to point out that inserting entries into the table and creating new tables are also possible through this MCP server, as well as uh, more complex operations too. So I hope you found this video insightful. We can see here that using this MCP server, it's really convenient to interact with Snowflake databases using natural language itself. And we can also see that once an MCP server is deployed on the Whale platform, it's really easy to interact with it using any platform. That is, you can just plug it in and use it. So this marks the end of this video, and I hope you found it insightful. Thank you.